Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create an SSIS package from SQL Server 2005. I'm also going to look very quickly at how to access the package from both the Management Studio and the Business Intelligence tools, which comes with the instance of the database. The first thing we've got to do is make sure that we have the correct services running, and we do this by opening our Configuration Manager. And we can see that the SQL Server integration services is working, and also the SQL Server itself, so we're good to go. Now we're going to log into the database using the Management Studio and standard Windows authentication. We're going to list out our databases. So what we're going to do here for the SSI sample here is we're going to extract from the AdventureWorks database into the Migrate database which we've created for the job. So we start off by right-clicking on the source database and choose the export data option from the tasks, and we can see that the details come up in the export wizard. Note that this database could be somewhere remote and the credentials may be different. So we're going to stick to the next window for the destination, and because we're using the same database for the source and destination, I'm going to type in the server name. Once that's done, we should get a list of the databases available to us, and we're going to choose the Migrate one as the destination. Click on the next button, and now we're offered two different ways to select the data. The first one allows us to select a table or a view or a stored procedure directly from the list of objects in the database. And the second one allows us to write our own query to aggregate the data. So we're going to choose the second option here just for this part of the demonstration. I'm going to go next. I'm going to paste in a query that I know already works, and I would recommend that the query is generated and developed before you start the SSI package. So you should have the correct syntax, and it should be debugged before you do this. I'm going to parse this to make sure everything is okay, and you can see that's okay, so we move on to the next page. And now we can see it's generating our query here. I'm going to call this Migrate. And we can look at this, we can edit it, and we can even edit the SQL from here because it's showing us what it's going to do. It's going to create a new table called Migrate from the script we just put in. And we can do things like change some of the schema details for that table, or the data types and so on. So I'm not going to make any changes to that, and we're going to say that's okay. Let's go backtrack a little bit and look at what we would do if we were just doing the data directly. And you can see here this gives us a list of all the objects that we would use to generate the export. And if we chose a sales, for instance, sales store, we could preview the data. You can see there's some data there, and we can use that as our data source. So we're going to go back and do this one again. Just going to call that Migrate, and now we're taken to the option to save the package, and we can save it and execute it at the same time. In this case I'm going to choose that option, and we have the option to save it within the database or as a file. So we can save it as a DTSX file, or we can save it within the database. I'm going to save it within the database. Given the option now to provide security, I'm going to disable that one. And I'm going to now name our package. Just going to call it Migration Sample, and I'm going to choose next to that, and we see the details come up there of what it's going to do. I'm going to choose Finish. So once that's finished, the package is created and the output has been generated. We can close there, and we could look at that by looking at our tables, and we can see our Migrate table has been created in our database, and we wanted to open the table. We can see the data is in there. So now let's go and look at how we would access that SSIS package from Management Studio. So we're going to open Management Studio, and instead of choosing the database engine here, we're going to choose the integration services. We're going to connect to there, and we're going to look at the stored packages. And remember, there's two types. Remember, we said there's a file system type and there's the integrated database type. In this case, we've chosen the integrated database. So we can see there's a couple in here, and the one we're interested in is the migration sample, as you can see. Now the limitation here is that we can look at the package, we can export it, or we can import it. We can run the package or delete it, but we can't really do any serious modification. So the BIDS tool is a better tool for modifying this data, and we're going to close SSMS now, and we're going to go to the BIDS tool. Now, if you can't find the Business Intelligence Development Studio tool, the easiest way to find it is choose all programs, go to your SQL Server programs install folder, and you should see it there as an option, and I've just copied it out and pasted it in here. So if you open up that, now the way to access our newly created SSIS package is first of all to create a project in here. So create a project here, and it's an integration services project, so we press OK to that. And by default it starts us up with a new package here, and we're not really interested in this. We actually want to migrate the existing package so that we can see it in the Solution Explorer. And the way we do this is we go to the project option on the toolbar and go down to add existing package. And now what we've got to do is we've got to add in the server name so that it knows where to find the package. And also what we've got to do is we've got to tell it where the packages are stored, and they're stored in the SSIS package store. So we choose those two options, and now we should be able to access it by browsing to it. So we look at the package path here, and we open the MSDB, which is the integrated SSIS packages, and now we see the migration sample. So we press OK to that, and what it does now is it adds it to our Solution Explorer, and now we have much more flexibility over this package. We could have generated using the file save rather than the integrated solution save. We could have generated one of these DTSX files, and we could have navigated directly to the package. So now we're going to have a look here, and by just double clicking on this, we can see the package detail opens in the package window, and we've got all the tools available to us now to modify and edit this package. And if we look at things like the data flow here, we look at the source query, we can see this, we can edit the query, build it, make new connections, so on. So it's quite flexible. So I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.